Hello everybody, gonna do a little video today. I got the chronograph out. I was gonna show you guys what I've got going on my 1892. I've done a couple videos on it, still kind of work in progress, but was gonna do some chronographing on it and the 1886 4570. I've got a couple different loads going. I'm real curious on the velocity of them, so we'll do some testing today. I'll show you my chronograph. So this is the Caldwell chronograph. It's real popular. Right off the bat, I can't think what the name of the model is, but I'm going to show you guys a little trick on what I've done. See this green piece of tape? More than once, I went to use this thing and rolling around in the bag or whatnot, the switches come on. So I've learned I just put a piece of tape over it and that keeps the switch off while I'm not using it. So it looks like it's ready to go. It's counting down. What I try to do is when I'm using this chronograph, I try to shoot right in the middle of the sunshades there. So I was told if you shoot right in the middle of that sunshade triangle, it's a little bit more accurate, and then it gives you, a little bit of consistency. I don't know how accurate this thing is. I know they're a real popular model, but I've liked it. I mean, I think according to my books and all that, it's pretty close to being where it should be. So we'll shoot it today. The load I'm using today is 6.5 grains of Herco. You guys have seen this where I load these around those flat points to 1.5 inches to get them to cycle through that 1892. So, Herco's not really one of my regular go-to powders. My dad bought some years ago. Shoot, it's probably 25 years old. He didn't end up using it. The way the powder and such is today, it's like if you got it and it'll work, better use it. So we'll take a few shots with it and see what it's going. I think, and I'm a big fan of the Hodgdon powder. And I've used a lot of Alliant powder. I've used Bullseye, Unique, 2400. I stock a little 2400 right now. But it seems like with the Hodgdon powder, there's a lot more data available. That's kind of my only gripe with the Alliant, I guess they're still making Herco. I've read some stuff online where people have found it. Like I say, this powder's, it's got to be 20 or 30 years old. But there's just not a lot of data for it. So I dug around one of my old Lyman books, my Lyman reloading manual it's probably 20 plus years old. And it had some in there, but none of the newer stuff even lists Herco for pistols. So anyway, we'll have some fun with it today and see what it'll do. I'm hoping it'll be around 1,000 feet per second. If it's anywhere close to that, then we're going to shoot some accuracy loads with it. If you guys remember from my last video, I couldn't remember what I was using for load, but I found it in my records that it was 4.2 grains of tight group, which is pretty much on the bottom spectrum of 38 special. And then when you load that bullet out, that lowers the pressure even more because it's basically the case capacity of a 357. So it was super light, too light really. But anyway, we'll see what this one does. So that one says 1324. That one says 1286. That one says 1218. We'll shoot one more. That's a pretty big spread. So what I found with this chronograph is, I'll shoot a string of 5 or 6, and sometimes I'll have one that's way off either direction. I kind of throw that one out. So that 1380 I'm going to throw that one out. I'm going to call these about 1250. I'm going to shoot them with a pistol. We'll see what that one does. So what I got is a Smith & Wesson 586. I said earlier in the video that I expected it to be around 1,000 feet per second. That's probably out of a pistol. Seems like you're 200 to 300 feet per second faster out of a rifle. So I didn't really take that into consideration. So if this guy's around 1,000, that's a pretty good mid-range load. We'll see what it does. That's showing 940. That one shows an error, so something was a mistake there. Huh. I'm not sure what it's doing. It keeps showing an error, man. I got to turn it off and on. Yeah, it seems to be working now. I'll try a couple more shots. That's showing 990. Yeah, 970. So out of the pistol, averaging about 950. Out of the rifle, it's about 1250. So that's about what I'd expect. That's not a hot load by any stretch. That's what I would call just above mid-level. That's kind of what I was shooting for. So while I got the chronograph set up, I'm going to chronograph some of the 4570 loads. I've got the two loads. One is the 25 grains of 2400. One is a 50 grains of benchmark. We'll see what they'll do while I got this. Well, I got the chronograph set up. I've been real curious on that benchmark load especially. I'm going to guess it around 1,800 feet, so we'll give it a try. Alright, so you guys have seen this rifle a ton. You know it's one of my favorites. Not sure why I love this rifle so much. You know, I'm a little bit bigger guy, and this is just like a Winchester lever action that's just slightly bigger, and for whatever reason it fits me good. I really like it. So this is 50 grains of benchmark with that 350 grain cast bullet. I'm not going to shoot this on paper today. If you guys seen my other videos, I'm still struggling with accuracy a little bit on it. I ordered the 458 sizing die. I'm going to try that. It's not here yet. It's taken I've ordered it probably a week ago, so it should be here anytime. But the next video I do this, we'll try those other bolts that are resized. But today we're just shooting for velocity. That's showing 1780. $18.30. So that one is showing 18. That's about 1800. That one's 1810. So that's about what I expected it. We're going to shoot those 2400 loads, see what they do. All right, guys. So this is 25 grains of 2400. That one's showing 1540. $15.20. $15.10. So what I find interesting about that is the benchmark load was pretty consistent, but that 2400 load was more consistent. It was only about 30 feet per second but between the highest and lowest, and the benchmark was about 40 or, well, it was about 50 feet per second, I guess, but still pretty consistent. You know, I kind of like that benchmark load for that hot of a load, shooting that 1750 range. Not much recoil difference. So when I get those other bullets sized, I'll have to play with that benchmark. I don't know if you guys had experience with benchmark, but I really like it. So anyway, I'm gonna shut the camera off for a second, go set up a target. We're gonna shoot that 1892 with that Herco load at 50 yards and see what it does. If you guys remember on the last video, I've got the side elevator adjusted all the way up, and it's barely at point of impact. But those loads, them other loads are super mild. So anyway, we'll see where that changes it. All right, so I got the target set up there at 50 yards. We'll take a couple shots and see how these Herco loads do. All right, let's go have a look. All right, so you guys notice what I'm shooting with that chronograph. I'm not real technical about it. You know, I've watched some videos of guys using chronograph, and they want to figure out the exact feet per second average and you know, all the spreads and all that. You know, when I've done that before, if I'm shooting like high precision long range rifle stuff, there's some value to that. I'm just shooting plinking loads, having fun. So we'll see what we got. So this is really interesting. Here's the loads, not bad accuracy, you know, just under 2 inches. But it's interesting that it's so low. I don't have any more movement on that front or on the rear side to bring that up. So it's really odd to me. I'm gonna shoot another couple rounds, see what it does. So on that sight, on this rifle, it's got a really super fine front bead, and then I think they call it like a full buckhorn sight on the rear. And I'm holding that front bead right in the bottom of that rear sight. I'm gonna try holding it up a little bit. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong, because I'm thinking what is I've sped this bullet up a little bit, 158 grain slug. It should be pretty close to what the factory would be shooting. You know, I've read in some of the books that the factory 357, 158s are going 1700 feet. This guy's going 1300. You wouldn't think that that would be so far out of realm that the sights aren't the way they should be. Maybe I'm holding them wrong, or maybe I just need to learn to hold them in a different place. Hold that front bead up just a little bit in the rear sight. It's just kind of a funky full buckhorn kind of a deal. I don't know, it's something I'm not really used to. Maybe it's original, or, you know, kind of to meet what the original was, and maybe it's meant to be held up a little bit. Yeah. I'll give it a try, see what it does. you know, I'm happy this gun is functioning good. It seems to be like it's loosening up a little just by using it. All right, let's go have a look. All right, so this is interesting. The gun's grouping just fine. I got 4 shots under an inch, a couple little flyers there. But I felt like I was holding that bead up a little bit. Apparently I wasn't. I was obviously holding it right where I was the first time, but the gun's shooting good. You know, I'm used to a 6 o'clock sight picture. Yeah, so I'm technically aiming about right here, and that's what I do with my handguns. And with open sights, that's kind of the way I've done it, so you can see the target. You know, if I was aiming here, it would be hitting right in there somewhere. So it's really not a problem, I don't think. So I'm gonna take a couple more shots with it. The load's plenty accurate. It's 6.5 grains of Herco. I'm tickled with the way the accuracy is. I wished I could get it, like I say, for me, open sights, same as a handgun, is that 6 o'clock sight picture. Maybe this is just a gun that doesn't work that way. I don't know. I'm gonna try 3 more shots and hold. I'm gonna try to aim at the very top of that upside down T, and I think it'll shoot just fine. I'm pretty tickled with the groups. I think the groups are almost better than what the tight groups were. So, you know, that's something to know, that if a guy runs into Herco these times the way they are with reloading supplies, Herco's working pretty good in this 38. I'm tickled with the accuracy. I'm shooting as good as I can see with, you know, those little sights. So I'm gonna shoot one more group and we'll see what it does. All right, well, I'm tickled with the way this gun is functioning. You know, I think I've mentioned in the earlier video that I've had a little trouble with it. The action's super tight, super stiff, but this load and this bullet seems to be working really well in it. All right, we'll have a look. All right, the gun's shooting just fine. I was aiming up here and it hits right in there, so it's still just a tiny bit low. And it's harder for me to shoot accurately that way because I'm trying to cover this target. The gun's shooting great. I'm not gonna monkey around with it. I'm happy with it. Well, I'm happy with this little rifle. It's fun as heck to shoot. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. You know, you kind of have to set your expectations right on it, and just make sure that you know what you got. I mean, it's a fun little 50-yard rifle. You know, go shoot rabbits with it or whatever you wanted to do, but that's about all it's good for. 1,300 feet per second on that 158 grain bullet. For small game, it'd be just fine, you know, at close range like that. Never be a deer gun. You know, I've heard of some guys using 357 rifles for deer. And in ideal situations, that would work. That's not my goal for it. I got lots of good deer rifles, but, you know, and You know, out here in the West, the muleys can take a little bit more hit, I think, than the whitetails. I don't know much about whitetail hunting. I know they're a smaller animal, and maybe that'd be a good rifle for it. But anyway, I am tickled pink with this little rifle. It seems to be functioning good, and maybe we'll just take a couple quick shots on the steel with it. Alrighty, I got her loaded up. Had fun with this little gun. This is the fun projects for me. You know, I kind of said in my other videos that I'm really kind of stuck on accuracy. You know, and this little project's been fun because this gun was a little fussy for bullet design, overall length, that kind of stuff. So I've got it kind of figured out where it'll work good. Accuracy wise, it's shooting plenty good. I don't think I need to fuss around with that anymore. So it's been a fun little project. We'll just shoot a little bit of steel with it and call it a night. You know, if a guy wanted to do a little cowboy action shooting, I wouldn't be scared to take that. It seems to be cycling and functioning just fine. Well, I think I'm going to call that a night. The sun's about down. Got all my calves fed for the night. I've had a ton of fun with this gun. Appreciate you guys watching. You know, I haven't done cowboy action shooting for several years. My son was about 14 when he was doing it with me, and we kind of grew out of it, and he's raised now, and there might be a day where I get back into it, and this would be a dandy little rifle to do it with. So thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe.